Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be talking about the subject of accessibility and specifically how to make your social media accessible to people with different disabilities. And ultimately, if social media is your job, if you're an influencer, or if you are trying to further your career and further your profile on social media, then it's important that you try and take steps to make your platforms as inclusive as you possibly can. This is going to be a two-part series. So the first video, which is today's video, is going to be talking about social media, and then tomorrow's video is going to be talking about how to make your YouTube accessible. If you would like to be a part of the Fashioneyesta family, be sure to hit the subscribe button and also be sure to click the notification bell down below if you would like to receive updates when I post new videos. So without further ado, let's get going and let's talk all about accessibility and social media. Tip 1, add descriptions to your images. One of the most important things when you are sharing pictures on social media and you are thinking about accessibility is to ensure that you add image descriptions to your images that you share for people with visual impairments who may use things like a voiceover. There are two ways that you can help to make your pictures accessible. The first way is to add alternative text to your images. With platforms like Twitter and now Instagram, they have incorporated a feature where you can add alternative text to your images as you share them. So with Twitter, you have to first of all go under settings and then into accessibility and enable this feature. And then what happens is that every time you go to share an image onto Twitter, you have to tap the button at the bottom of the picture which says add description, and then you basically just type out a description. So the description will be things like who or what is in the photograph, what is the lighting like, what is in the background, what is in the foreground. Let me show you an example now. So if I was going to upload an image onto Twitter, what I would first of all do is find an image that I want to share. So say for instance I wanted to share a picture of this cherry blossom. What I would then do is I would then add a description. So once you've added the description that you want to add, you can then just go ahead and share whatever regular text on the actual tweet you want. And then when someone with voiceover finds the tweet, this is what it will say.
An image looking upwards at a pink cherry blossom tree in Greenwich Park. Behind the tree is a clear blue sky.
And then with Instagram, what you do is when you are going to be uploading an image to Instagram, what you do is you go under advanced settings and then you click the feature write alt text under accessibility. So if you're working with a platform that hasn't incorporated a feature where you can add alternative text, what you can do is just simply write picture description or image description or words to that effect, or the picture shows, and then you just give a detailed description of what the image is. It just makes it easier for your visually impaired audience to enjoy your photographs and to be able to interact further with your content. Tip number 2, capitalise the first letter of each word in a hashtag. Now this tip I only discovered very recently after seeing a tweet from the RNIB charity. And the reason for this is because when you are sharing a post under a hashtag which is long and has a number of words in it, if you don't capitalise each word within that hashtag, what will happen is that voiceover will pronounce it really weird. So it will be very difficult for people who use voiceover or screen readers to understand. Let me give you a demonstration. This is what a hashtag will sound like without capitalised words.
Inclusive activity.
And this is what it will sound like with capitalised words.
Inclusive activity.
So as you probably gathered, if a hashtag doesn't have capitalised words, it gets very confusing and it could lead to some very interesting mispronunciations. And it will also make it more difficult for people who use screen readers and voiceover functions to be able to understand and to interact with the hashtag. Remember, next time you share under a long hashtag, make sure to capitalise the first letter of each of the words used in the hashtag. Tip number 3, add transcriptions to your videos. This is particularly useful for people who are hard of hearing or who are deaf or who have cognitive disabilities, but it also is useful when there is a language barrier as well and someone who's viewing a video doesn't speak the same language, because it makes it easier to translate. Now there are platforms like YouTube and Facebook which allow you to upload closed captions or a transcript to your video as you upload it, but there are some platforms that don't. So you can of course add in-house captions to your videos before you share them, or the other option is to add a script to your video if you can as well. Now, a really useful app I found out about recently is called Cliptomatic, which basically allows you to add captions to your Instagram stories when you're filming a video. So you have to be filming on this app, and then it will basically recognize your voice and add the captions as you talk. Of course, you will have to go back and tweak certain words because it doesn't get everything right, and it's a really, really easy app to use. It is a paid app, but it's not very expensive at all, and it's just a really good idea if you do a lot of Instagram stories. And again, it's just very good practice for your hard of hearing users, and it's something that I've tried to get into the habit of doing now whenever I upload Instagram stories. Add hyperlinks to your content. Now, if you are referring to something that can be linked in your social media, and you can add a hyperlink, so for example with Twitter or Facebook, be sure that you add a link for people who have both sensory and cognitive disabilities. For example, people who use voiceover might find it difficult to go and scour the internet to find the resource that you're talking about. So if you can put a link either in the same tweet or in a following tweet, or if you can link it in a post, then it just makes life a lot easier for people who might struggle to find that. Tip number 5, don't overuse GIFs. Now, GIFs I know are very popular. I know we all love a good GIF. But alas, GIFs are not accessible. For people who use voiceover, or for people who have certain cognitive disabilities, and they do not come with ready-made alternative text for people who use voiceover. Just an idea there for social media platforms. As it stands at the moment, GIFs are pretty much obsolete to someone who uses voiceover and who can't see what the GIF is. If you are creating a social media post, try to refrain from GIFs, and if you are going to reply to someone with a GIF and you know that they are a voiceover user or they have a disability which might make interpreting GIFs difficult, add a text response as well. Don't just simply respond with a GIF, because it makes life a lot more difficult for certain disabilities. I still do use GIFs, but if I am going to be posting content, I try to make sure that I add some kind of textual information to indicate why I might be using the GIF. But like I said, I do get it, GIFs are great, they are fun, but alas, they are not accessible, and they should be. Social media platforms, that's one for you to sort out, okay? You need to start making your GIFs accessible. So that concludes my top 5 tips on how to make your social media more accessible. I really hope that you found it useful and helpful in some way. If you have any tips of your own to add that I haven't mentioned, do feel free to comment them down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye everybody!